is Friday, March 3rd of 2023 here, and got plenty of DFS action coming at you across the day, across the weekend. So should be plenty to talk about today. FanDuel has coined today Trey Day, so it is 3/3/2023. So they are running some bigger contests that they have been running satellites for. So good luck to all of you participating in those contests. I will see you up at the top on Trade Day today, but it looks like it's a 10-game NBA slate. Got a 5-game hockey slate. I know there are a ton of esports going on, LCS, LPK, I believe, and CSGO, and what else do we got? Tennis is kicking, MMA over the weekend, XFL over the weekend, NASCAR, F1. So just like a range of sports, no better time to check out SaberSim if you're not joined up with us. There is a link to a 7-day, no strings attached free trial. Join up. Tune into the show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Get your questions answered. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at SaberSim. It's a show where we go over how to use the app, answer any and all DFS-related questions, any sport, any topic you guys want to talk about it. I will do my best to give you a thoughtful answer or find one if I do not have one. But that being said, going to get SaberSim pulled up here. It is our last show of the week. So if you guys have questions for any of the sports over the weekend, now is a great time to get them in. We actually had no questions to get us started today. There was one question actually that came in via support, just popped in my head here. And this one came in actually late yesterday. I ended up talking to Samuel about it in via support. So the question was, on late swaps, do I always have to upload the entries in the entry editor before the later slates start? If I just do a regular late swap, will the builder swap out players at 0? Okay, so kind of a question about how late swap works with CSVs and recognizing, what your actual lineup is. So the best way to think about it here is, the way it works pre-build is different than the way it works post-build. And let me just enter one of our free contests upcoming for the NBA slate so we can have something to demo to work with here. Always nice to be able to have a CSV to get our hands dirty with here. So going to enter one of the free DK contests. Boom, reserved on my phone. Going to go over to the entries tab. Going to hit this download template file and then going to pull this into the app. Now I have a CSV with a contest here. And so this is probably like, we've done a lot of work recently to try and make the builder work similarly pre-lock versus post-lock. The biggest difference is like filling your entries and finding your entries. So pre-build or pre-slate lock, you have to fill your entries using this fill button up here on the right that you guys will all see in a second. So going to make 2 quick changes here so I can see the lineups. Okay, boom, I can see the lineups. Fill entries button goes green. When you are satisfied with your lineups, changes you make, diversification tools, etc., you go to this fill entries. The fill method is unique rank automatically, and I highly suggest that method. You're going to hit fill, and then you're going to hit this download all entries from this screen, okay? So once you hit this download all entries, that is basically you like shaking hands, closing the deal, saying like, these are the lineups that I'm taking with me into my contest. And then once you hit that button, SaberSim is going to remember that, okay, they use this lineup file, this timestamp, this fill method, and it's going to remember that over here in this entries tab. So that's exactly what's happening here. In late swap, it works a little bit differently because we are not building you new lineups. We are building you versions of the lineups in your entries file. So we are going to look at your entries file, going to see how many unique lineups there are, and then build iterations of that lineup for you to choose from. So let's say, it's late swap time here, and I want 10 versions of my one lineup. I think that if you're only building a couple lineups, it's totally okay to decrease pool size because, let's say you're on the pro plan, you can build up to 5,000 lineups, but you're only playing 20. You're going to end up building, you're going to build like 250 versions of every lineup if there's that many available options. And frankly, I don't think you need that many because, how good is your 250th version going to be from like your top 50 versions or something like that. So I think it's totally okay to decrease pool size if you are only building, 20 or less lineups for your late swap. But regardless, okay, so now I ran a late swap. I have a late swap lineup that I like, that I want to use. There's no more fill entries button. The button on the top right now says download new entries. So we skip the fill entry step and then we go straight to this download. Once you click this download, SaberSim it's going to be the same thing, that handshake, that closing the deal. These are my new lineups. And then if we go over back to the entry screen, we're going to see the fill method change to late swap. So the builder recognized that, hey, we hit the download new entries button. So these are our new lineups. If you do not hit this button, you could run 10 late swaps. You could run 20 late swaps. If you never hit this button, the download new entries, SaberSim is never going to change your entries file in the builder. Is going to leave it the same. So that is like, I think one of the most important things about late swapping is keeping your entries file in sync with what is in the app. So maybe, you build a lineup and then you change it on like your phone if you're like a single entry player. Well, now, your entries, what SaberSim thinks your entry is and what the site thinks your entry is are different. So then you need to go back to this upload new entries and then go to this download template file from DraftKings, and then it'll re-pull in the entry file with the lineup that the site has. And then you're going to tell SaberSim, hey, this is the lineup that DraftKings has. Let's start over from here. Let's work from here. So that is like how it works. If you ever upload a CSV, you click a download new entries, you upload it to the site, it doesn't work for whatever reason, you get an error, you get a kickback, just pull in a new entries file from the site and then start over. And then now you're back to square one with, that SaberSim and DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever are linked back up again. So those are my thoughts on like how to go about late swap, how to make sure everything is working correctly. And those are the deliberate actions in the app that are going to ultimately change your lineups in SaberSim. But good question there. Elder jumped in the Discord and said, just chiming in to say, keep the mustache, carry on. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Trying to catch up to Jordan. He has a pretty clean one going on over there. All right. Chase said, I know the new lineup filters were back tested with NBA, but can they be used for different sports? So this sounds like it's probably related to some of the changes that are coming with SaberScore 2.0. If you guys haven't listened, there was a behind the Sims video released a day or two ago with Matt, Andy, and Jordan talking about some of the changes that we are testing in a beta version and ultimately, think will improve the quality of lineups and help users do better in DFS. So it is in this Behind the Sims playlist on our YouTube channel, Behind the Sims episode 23, SaberScore 2.0 and adjusted ownership. I was finally able to give this a listen. I actually just finished listening to it a little while ago, earlier this morning, and I thought it was great. I've heard about it, in the pro channel. There's a lot of discussion internally, and getting to listen to it and hear the team go back and forth, discuss it was a great listen. So if you're interested in learning more about some of the changes that we're making, I would check out this Behind the Sims episode. But getting back to Chase's question. So yes, Matt has mostly been doing the back testing for this using NBA contest sims. But there was an update made to it this morning. I'm actually not on beta right now. But there is now the option for small slate and large slate. There is contest size, 1 to 10K, 10 to 50K. And then there's also a late swap sorting metric as well. And then I believe, based on what I heard in the Behind the Sims, I'm not sure, I would have to talk to the team, but I believe that Matt is ultimately going to end up doing this sport by sport. So right now it's basketball season. So he's doing the Sims for basketball, and then he's going to roll it out for basketball. I'm assuming we're going to do it for hockey, and then we'll probably have a MLB version, an NFL version, etc. So like whenever you go to build, or I'm going to pull up a regular build, not a late swap here, but you're going to go into your build, and then the lineup sorting method is going to be the SaberScore 2.0 version, but it's going to automatically select the large slate or small slate depending on the number of games. And then it'll also select the contest size based on the settings that you put in the build lineup. So the number of entrants that you put is going to be important because that will automatically determine what lineup sorting method you're using. And then I believe what he's doing is 5 games and under is considered a small slate, and then 6 games or more is considered a large slate. So that will also be automatically detected. But you'll have the ability to test out different ones, and the changes are looking awesome, and I can't wait for them to get pushed to the live app so all users can start to experiment with them and different things like that. But really good question there. Another thing that I did want to point out, this is a change that we made this week. So you will see that this pool, we set the pool is set to, it was set to 500 before I ran the late swap. And then the build actually built 596 lineups. That's okay. If anybody is, watching this and says like, hey, I requested this many lineups, I got a little more than I requested. Nothing is wrong. Totally normal. We've loosened up some of the restrictions, and that 500 limit is not a hard cap anymore. So the builder has a little flexibility. It has more to do with like it should help users meet exposures. It should help lineups build enough lineups for certain rules or anything else that a user is trying to do. So totally okay. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but just wanted to point that out. All right. Those are our last questions that we had in the queue. If anybody has any questions, now's a great time to get them in. I'm going to pull up the NBA injury report, and we can start looking at and discussing things that we might need to watch out for as the day goes on here. So give me 1 second to pull up the Basketball Monster news dashboard that we regularly use here. Big fan of this. And let's start diving through here. So early games, not a lot going on. I feel like it was probably like a similar scenario on Wednesday. The last big slate that we had, a lot of these questionables are all in the later games, specifically this Clippers Sacramento game. Paul George does rest pretty often here. De'Aaron Fox was out on Wednesday. I believe Davion Mitchell started. Richaun Holmes, not the most important. Zubac questionable. He did play Wednesday, and as far as I know, he did play Wednesday. So I'm almost pretty positive of that. And I don't know if he played yesterday. Wow, are the Clippers playing 3 games in a row? That's like pretty rare in the NBA. So Clippers played Sacramento today. I'm pretty sure they played Golden State yesterday. And then I thought Zubac was questionable on Wednesday. No, okay. I think Zubac was questionable yesterday and not Wednesday. So they're playing a back-to-back. So, I wonder if we'll check out players right now, but I'm even wondering if like Kawhi is playing today because he will sit on a lot of back-to-backs as well. So definitely want to look into the Clippers here. Going to keep my eye on De'Aaron Fox. Davion Mitchell played pretty well on Wednesday. He's about like the only one who like benefits from that situation. Jonas Valanciunas in a late game. Oh, he's doubtful today. Oh, okay. So Wednesday he was questionable. And then, Pelicans and Portland played like a late island game. And then he ended up getting ruled out. Guillermo Hernangomez was announced a starter, but Jackson Hayes ended up having like a 10x value off the bench. So I would expect for Pelicans centers to be pretty popular here. And it doesn't look like we are projecting them that way at the moment. Not too sure why. I would probably expect that ownership to go up. It looks like the points look fine. The value looks fine. Maybe there's like some other huge center value here that I'm unaware of. Oh, Mo Wagner is playing. I'm assuming that means that Wendell Carter Jr. is out. So looks like a lot of value just at the center position in general today, like 4 guys over 6 value with Batum at 5.9. So a lot of value at the center position today. Should be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But other than the Paul George news, the De'Aaron Fox news, and the Jimmy Butler news, I'm not seeing a ton of questionables that I'm particularly worried about here. I will say that, okay, Anthony Simons, he was like questionable, tried playing, re-injured himself, and then ultimately ended up like leaving mid-game. So unfortunate for him. Hope he gets better soon. Looks like Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton are still out. Not sure what the deal is with like Kendrick Nunn and O'Shea Agbaji here. Agbaji got like hurt mid-game and then came out, and then Nunn ended up playing a bunch more. Okay, Kawhi is out. So should be pretty good value here. Would be interesting if like Paul George is out. How popular does Russell Westbrook get? He's only played like a couple games with the Clippers here, so should be interesting to see how that shakes out. But he would basically be like the focal point of the offense, and would be interesting to see how like guys like Terrence Mann, who usually plays a lot when George and Kawhi are out, how he fits into this role with Westbrook, maybe even Bones Highland too. So somebody's gonna have to shoot. Might still be okay to get some of these lower owned Clippers in here if George sits. So I would say as far as like injuries, things that I'm watching out for. Oh, AD is back, so that's a big one for the Lakers there. Is what ends up happening with the Clippers. Does Jimmy Butler sit? Could open up another big value there, and kind of go from there. So those two spots that I would really be keeping my eyes on throughout the day. Hope that this points you guys in a good direction to spend some time, do some research, do some high value research for your NBA processes, and good luck to all of you in your contest. But we are going to jump back to the SaberSim app here, and looking through both the Discord and the YouTube chat, still not seeing any questions coming in here. So it might be a short Friday stream here, but we will be right back on Monday. Monday will be March 6th. So good luck to all you guys in your contests over the weekend. Try out some new sports. If you're not joined up with SaberSim, check us out. 7-day, no strings attached, free trial. Also a link to the Discord. Great place to be. A lot of sharp people in there. Ask questions, get ideas from different users. If somebody says something you don't like, that's like or you disagree with, not that you don't like, but if you disagree with, that's okay. I like to ask questions, and then I'm going to pull this one thing from this person, I'm going to pull this one thing that this person said, and then I'm going to ultimately create my own process from there. So good to get feedback, good to get different perspectives. You can see how different people are approaching problems, and go from there. But until Monday, I will see you all. Take care and good luck. Bye.